What's up, everybody? Kevin and Ike here. E3 is just around the corner, so we're obviously going to be talking a little bit about what we expect to see during Nintendo's, direct presentation, whatever you want to call it. Any surprises, any, predictions, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah. What I'm sure we'll be all expecting about this Nintendo presentation is mostly about Super Mario Odyssey. Games that we already heard about, but not everything. Like, for example, like I said, Mario Odyssey, the Breath of the Wild DLC second pack wasn't mentioned that much.
not really, because we have quite a few details about the first pack, that's for
Exactly, yeah.
sure. But the second pack, we don't really know what's going to be in it. We just have a rough outline, so this is probably their chance to show it off.
Yeah, maybe Xenoblade 2, some new trailers.
Definitely looking forward to that. I do expect a new trailer. I do expect a few more details as well, and perhaps the most important thing, fingers crossed for a more concrete launch window.
True.
They are insisting that it's going to release this year,
Mm-hmm.
which a few people are doubting. So hopefully a more concrete launch window will give fans
Yes.
that kind of expectation and start building hype and whatnot. Xenoblade is one of my favorite games of all time, so definitely looking forward to this one.
Yeah, and other stuff like maybe the game that should be releasing in like August, Splatoon 2. Maybe some more information about another test fire maybe? That would be cool. Or even giving us a new trailer. Not too long though, because it's gonna be like 30 minutes if I remember correctly.
I'm pretty sure it was 30 minutes, so they do have to manage their time wisely.
Yeah.
In terms of how they pace the announcements and whatnot.
Exactly. Some other stuff that they already announced but didn't much mention at all. For example, Fire Emblem Warriors. They showed footage about it, but not much. Just enough to, leave us hanging. Like, give us something more. Give us, like, how it works. Yes, a few days ago they gave us, like, new main characters exclusively for the game. And I'm sure they told us stuff that only characters from popular games like Shadow Dragon, Fates, and what's it called?
Awakening?
Awakening, yeah. Characters from those franchises, not the other ones.
Perhaps the more recent ones.
Yeah, the more recent ones.
What about the mainline Fire Emblem game?
Yeah, that's also another thing they announced on the Fire Emblem Direct that happened earlier this year. But then nothing else happened. They just told us, hey, there's this game we're gonna make. And that's it.
Now's the time to
Yes, now
to
would
go
be
in.
perfect to tell us something about it. Like anything.
New trailer? Fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
Maybe.
Fingers
Or-
crossed.
Yeah. And also Smash. Now, I don't think it would be a good idea to say anything about Smash in this E3. But if they're going to, it's probably going to be something like Super Smash Bros. Deluxe, something like that, following the naming convention. But it's probably going to have all the DLC, or maybe new characters too. Hopefully, probably they might put Ice Climbers, since the Wii U and 3DS versions couldn't do it.
I think it was the 3DS version that
Yeah,
we
the
couldn't
3DS
handle
version
it.
had some problems
So
with Ice
now-
Climbers. So now would be perfect to release Ice Climbers, in my opinion. But I don't think it would be a good idea, is because of the next game we're gonna talk about.
Oh, yeah.
That's Pokken. We would not like Pokken to be overshadowed by Smash, because that would be kind of bad.
Of course. I mean, you also have ARMS, and if you're going to go into third-party Ultra Street Fighter
Yes,
as well. But let's
exactly.
talk about Pokken in particular.
Yes.
We definitely don't want Pokken to be overshadowed. And let me put it this way: Pokken kind of is on its second chance if you
Yes.
think about it, because the Wii U version, especially like from a competitive standpoint, was kind of held back by a number of things. First of all,
Yes.
the arcade version was miles ahead of it in terms of updates and characters.
Yeah, you played it as well.
Of course,
so
the
you
new
would know.
characters are really, really fun to play. Darkrai, Empoleon, Krogunk, and so on.
Also, the performance is much better.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah,
is
so-
definitely noticeable. And you also had that thing in the Wii U in terms of controllers. From a competitive standpoint, having one person using the gamepad and another person using the dedicated controller, that kills it. So that's not gonna be a thing on the Switch version. So fingers crossed. It has potential, I think.
That's good. Another thing that I'd like to mention is in the presentation, the January presentation, when they showed us the Switch, they hinted us for the video sharing functionality that would work in conjunction with the capture, the screen capture.
Photo capture, yeah.
And I'd like them to say something about that, because we haven't heard anything since. Which is quite worrying, to be honest.
Since they pre-launch, basically. And we all know it's a feature on other consoles.
Yes, and it's a must, to be honest.
It's a big deal for many people. And, you know, you have so many people that just put their videos all over Facebook or any other social media site. That generates hype.
Yeah.
Other
and
people
also
see
it helps marketing, because other people are seeing the game and all that stuff. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. Also, streaming video like Netflix, Crunchyroll, YouTube, also integration with Twitch would be nice.
That would be amazing, yeah.
Yeah, so we hope that there's something in the works, but E3 honestly would be a perfect place to say something about this. At least just mention it, that it's on its way or it's coming soon, something like that.
The audience for those kind of features would be there at E3, especially like if you're talking
Especially
about
since
Twitch.
We're watching it through Twitch or YouTube, so it would be perfect.
Exactly, can't get any better than that, honestly.
Yeah.
Alright, we've been talking about the Switch for quite a while now. And I do hope that the Switch will take the majority of the presentation time and whatnot.
The focus.
Exactly, yes, please. But still, a bit of room
3DS
for the 3DS
exists.
Yes,
And there are games coming to it.
it's still alive.
Which I find odd, but hey, more games, I guess.
I mean, it's still selling quite well, so they're not gonna kill it off just yet. The big one, obviously, is Ultra Sun and Moon.
Yes, that's been announced quite recently.
Just like a week ago.
Yeah.
So there's that, and I would say that although Pokemon for quite a long time wasn't a main thing for at E3, especially back in the time when they still had their press conferences, I don't think Pokemon was ever shown during a press conference. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But when they switched over to more direct styles, and we did have information about new
Like,
Pokemon
I
games.
believe since X and Y, because I remember X and Y was announced in E3. So, yeah, after that, exactly, when they started doing the direct things. Direct stuff, presentations.
Ever Oasis is also coming out soon, and you also have Pikmin. Again, I'd love to have Pikmin on the Switch, but we are getting a 3DS title, so that's something.
That's better than nothing.
You know, we are talking about IPs, Nintendo IPs that maybe do not get enough attention. They're still good, obviously, but they don't get as much attention as they should.
As a company, they have a lot of IPs that have a lot of potential. Especially certain IPs like Animal Crossing on the Switch. That would be cool.
Well, we did have a console Animal Crossing on the Wii U, but let's not talk about that one, shall we?
Shove that aside.
All right, moving swiftly on. There's
Metroid. Metroid is like the one franchise that people really want to see on the Switch.
And even that is an understatement.
Yeah, and thing is, we've heard that Retro is working on a game, and a lot of people are thinking about they're working on a Metroid game. But thing is, they don't just work on Metroid.
Of course.
They work on Donkey Kong, for example.
Tropical Freeze, exactly.
So, yeah.
The thing is, Tropical Freeze was such a good game, and there were people who were disappointed that Retro worked on it instead of, say, Metroid, which I kind of don't agree with, because at the end of the day, we still got a great game, but that's the thing. That's the thing. Another franchise that has been ignored, and you even had Miyamoto say, well, are people still interested in this? Like, he was kind of like shocked. F-Zero.
Yeah.
So
I remember Miyamoto said about F-Zero, the Wii U couldn't offer more innovative experiences for the F-Zero franchise, which is kind of like, hey,
Cuff, you don't need innovative
just
features in
give me a game. I
every
don't give a damn.
game. Yeah.
Let's go for third parties. What makes you interested about third parties with Nintendo?
Oh.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not too interested, but they're important. That's the thing. They're important for the industry in general.
Well, that's the thing. Again, I do buy a Nintendo console to play Nintendo games, and let's face it, that's probably
The majority.
vast majority, right? The thing is as well, if we're gonna have a repetition of the Wii U days, where a company like EA, for example, what they're doing with FIFA on the Switch, they're bringing it over, but they're cutting features.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be interested in games that cut features. Again, I don't want a repeat of the Wii U days, so there's that as well. Though there are other games that I'd be interested in, such as, well, if we're gonna go with the Japanese side of things, there's Square Enix. We do know that we are getting, for example, Dragon Quest 10, which is the online multiplayer one,
yes.
and for me it's more important, I guess, the Dragon Quest 11, which is already on the PS4 and 3DS, but I'd love to see how the Switch version
the Switch would be
stands.
perfect, because the point of them releasing it on both the 3DS and the PS4 is so that you could have like the same save file in between the games, and on the Switch is perfect because it's a hybrid console.
Let's not forget that Square Enix are also bringing other games as well. Such
Yeah,
as...
like Octopath Traveler, which we've heard about in the January presentation, but nothing else. Then, like, another game that gone silent, which is kind of odd.
And then if we're still going on the topic of third parties, Japanese third parties, then there's also, we have to mention it, Monster Hunter Double Cross.
Yeah.
We know it's already on the Switch, except right now it's Japanese exclusive.
Yeah.
Well, that's on the 3DS and the Switch, by the way, but obviously the Switch version was announced recently. It even has a release date in Japan in late August, if I'm not mistaken. So, come on, Capcom, this is the perfect opportunity to get to work on maybe like simultaneous worldwide releases, or at least, make sure that the Western release doesn't...
So the huge gap.
Doesn't release.
Maybe a week or 2 weeks, maybe?
I would
maximum?
take even a month, but maybe 2,
fair
but
enough.
not more than that. The thing is, the Western fan base has advanced so much and has grown so much for Monster Hunter, and back in the old days, maybe we could have tolerated a bit like longer delays, gaps, between the Japanese release and the Western one. But now, come on. And also keep in mind that the Switch is region free, so you don't want your Western audience to just import the Japanese version, and they would do that. So E3, Monster Hunter Double Cross for the West. Fingers crossed, Capcom, do the right thing.
Also, we need to address the elephant in the room, the Mario plus Rabbids game. I mean, it's a thing, and something needs to come out this E3. Like, it's a given. Thing is, what is it going to be? We know it's going to be something like an RPG, with interesting battle systems, with the stupid guns and stuff. Mario holding a gun? Huh, that's new.
Don't forget the rabbits taking selfies.
Yeah,
that's not cringe-inducing at all.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, to be honest, for me, I don't really like Ubisoft that much, but I'm slightly interested, because it can work. How far-fetched it might sound like.
Again, when I saw it, obviously it was a bit of a negative reaction, which is pretty much...
I'm sure a lot of people had that
Yeah,
reaction,
yeah.
so it's fine.
Any predictions? Any surprises? We do know people have been going on about the SNES Classic Mini. After the whole NES Classic Mini stock and the discontinuation and whatnot, I wonder if such a thing would be welcome. I.e., has Nintendo learned from its past mistakes?
Yeah. The real question is it smart to release something like this? Having the Switch, having this momentum, especially if you're gonna put out Virtual Console on that console?
Well,
So,
I'd add that, the NES Classic you have to kind of put in a context. It was released a little bit out of desperation because they had nothing going into that holiday season, and well, they put out the NES Classic Mini, and then they did have something, that's for sure. To the point where obviously they couldn't keep up with the stock situation, and that was never fully remedied.
Yeah, so I'm sure if they're gonna do something with this NES, if they are, they're probably gonna keep it low profile and put it out later on this year, if anything. But I'm sure it won't be on E3.
Just make sure to stock it correctly this time if you do it. E3 announcement or otherwise. Anyway, back to the Switch, I guess, because that should be their main focus.
Yeah.
What about any limited editions or colors?
Some alternate colors to docks. Like, I don't know, have a red dock that would match on the neon red, or maybe a blue dock that would match on the neon blue. You know, that cool stuff that made the 3DS so collectible. Because, you know, there are so much limited editions.
I'm thinking about a red dock in time for Xenoblade's release. That would be something.
Maybe a Xenoblade 2 themed Switch. That would be.
Ooh.
I'm sure it'd be interested.
Yes, you could say that.
So, yeah.
You could
Nintendo,
say that.
do it! So, yeah, also, Nintendo on their website, their official website, they've said something about the Treehouse might be showing some surprises.
And by might be showing surprises, obviously they mean...
will show some surprises. I wonder what those surprises would be.
I would say it's stuff that, you know, is not that important in the sense of it's not going to take up those 30 minutes of the actual direct, but still, you know, stuff that,
It's
you know...
something
would
that
be,
I kind of imagine is, let's say they announce Smash for the Switch. Right?
I think that would be in the 30-minute segment. Though,
Yes, but let's say they announce it on the 30 minutes.
I think I know what you're thinking.
And then
here.
they don't announce a new character. But then on the Treehouse, hey look, there's this guy. Whoa! And there suddenly have ice climbers, for example, there in the screen. Like, what the hell happened? That, to be honest, that would be better. Honestly.
I can see that working.
Yeah.
I can see that working, honestly. Or extra features in general.
Yeah,
things
it's like
that.
some
But
Smash run on the Switch.
If we're talking
Whoa.
about Smash, though, obviously the fighter.
Yeah,
the
something
fighter
like that
team.
would help.
We do know we had new characters, for example, in the Mario Kart Deluxe. So
Or even on the Pokken, like the Sujuai.
exactly. So one for Smash 2. You could start placing your bets on who that fighter would be.
Yeah, so let's wrap it up here. So basically what we're expecting is anything really, in my opinion. Just things they already announced, just more detail please, and bring back some old IP, I mean.
Old IP, new IP.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like with new IP, you can never predict what Nintendo's gonna come up with.
Yeah.
Could anyone predict Splatoon? Could anyone predict ARMS?
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
fingers
also,
crossed.
yeah,
Fingers crossed for those kind of surprises.
So stay tuned guys, cause
Hopefully we will have a live reaction during the presentation itself, as well as a post
discussion.
Yeah, that
maybe?
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, till Tuesday it is then.
Bye bye.